Alright, so this is going to be a replay of actually 3 battles that did Bretonnia fighting Chaos. I was at like 3 Chaos Lords in a row, and right as I got up there and built this beautiful army comp for the fun of it, the final invasion with Archaon showed up. So I have Blessings of the Lady on, which it gives you a 20% damage reduction for physical damage to your entire force. However, if you ever retreat from battle, you lose it, and I didn't want to lose it, which is basically why I fought this battle, that the game gave me literally no chance of winning. Either way, getting into it, my basic strategy at the beginning, I have kind of an army on the left, an army on the right, and an army in the middle. So, gonna send these guys over to deal with that army, these guys over to deal with that army, and I throw my flying units right down the middle to go kill the hell cannons. So, in case you didn't notice in the beginning, I've decided to apparently roleplay a bunch of Bretonnian knights going on a grand adventure without any filthy peasants to weigh them down, which is why my entire army comp is Grail Guardians, Grail Knights, Royal Hippogriff Knights, and Royal Pegasus Knights. And I've also got the Fey Enchantress, and over here, the Greeny Meanie himself, the Green Knight. So, right off the beginning, a mistake that I kind of made right here is I threw Grail Guardians against Chaos Giants, which not the best idea I've ever had, and you can see my Guardians start to get chewed up a little bit. Over here, this left flank, I ended up not really attacking over there, just wasn't worth it, and they're going to get bogged down a little bit on this left side fighting the Chaos Knights. And then over here, looks like they're finally engaging. Sorry for the running around so much. I don't really record Total War battles very often, so I'm not the best with it. Either way, that Hell Cannon got cleaned up in the middle, and I am doing something with my Hippogriffs. Okay, we're bringing them back into the middle. One of the mistakes I also made is, right in the beginning, I used a lot of the Winds of Magic with my Enchantress to pop down a bunch of buffs, which it did help me out in the beginning, but in retrospect, I honestly kind of wish that I would have saved more of it for later to throw down more health bonuses and heals. So yeah, this left side got wrapped up pretty quickly, but you can also see like that unit of knights got pretty torn up by the giant and Kolek. At this point, I'm getting a little bit worried, so I'm gonna pull my entire middle back and just do a little bit of a regroup. Getting a little bit too committed with the cavalry. That's one of the biggest issues that I had with this army comp, is that it's very difficult to manage this much cavalry at one time. So, middle's backing up. While that happens, we're going to go check out over here. Doing pretty good over here. Got some Chaos Warriors, Marauders, and Chaos Spawn, but nothing that they can't handle. You can see it's getting mopped up already. And I'm going to bring the Green Knight back all the way over here to try to deal with this Chaos Giant, which is being a complete pain. And at this point, not doing a whole lot of fighting. I'm just kind of trying to regroup and figure out a battle plan and run away from Kolek, because Kolek, terrifying. I also really need to be a little bit smarter with my flying units. In retrospect, it probably wasn't the best idea to use them the way I did early on. I should have kept them up in the air for most of the game and used them to get some of that flanking, kind of use them as the cavalry. And Hell Cannons didn't actually get that many kills on me during the match, so definitely could have used my flying units better, and if that ever happens again, I will do so. And if you try a comp like this, I would advise using them a little bit better than I do. Right now, kind of re-engaging in the middle here, you can see a couple of separate fights are going on. my basic plan for this was to divide and conquer. I've got the speed advantage, so I'm going to draw out sections of their army, hit, pull away, hit on another side, and just constantly keep that harassment going on, which I did reasonably well, about as well as can be expected considering dealing with that much cavalry. Part of my plan was also to just stay the fuck away from Kolek. So, right here, just kind of cleaning stuff up. I've got the Green Knight YOLOing over there by himself, killing a Chaos Giant. This right flank is just pretty much staying boring. I've got, what, I think 2 units of Grail Knights and 2 units of Grail Guardians over here. They're doing fine. No real issues. We're gonna leave them alone. At this point, I accidentally had my Fey Enchantress going after Chaos Knights, and she killed them, but she also ended up just absolutely worthless to the rest of the battle. And I'm not going to watch her, but I forgot about her there for a while. And then later on in the battle, I was like, hey, I need an ability, and she was not anywhere to be seen. Yet again, kind of another danger of having to micro so many units, is that you can lose track of them fairly easily, like I did up there. So, there's my Lord being worthless. Luckily, everyone else is continuing to do work. And this is just me continuing to run around. You can see I left a lot of their army behind and just went around it to take out some of the units in the middle. Over here, this giant was a pain to kill. I don't know why he took so long to kill. But either way, what I also started doing is, a definite weakness in this army comp is you don't have a lot of AP damage outside of the Grail Knights, but then the Grail Knights aren't tanky enough to really hold the line, and you don't have a whole lot of anti-large either. Again, Grail Knights, anti-large, but I should have just done a better job of prioritizing who attacked what. But after this point, I started using my Hippogriffs to harass the Giants and basically slow them down and kill them. And at this point, I decided to run away all of my units because some of them were getting low health. That's also when I realized that, you know, I had my Enchantress doing jack all. So I'm going to retreat everybody kind of into a ball, and then pop an AoE heal spell. Over here, yeah, there we go. This right flank is completely mopped up at this point, just killing off the Hell Cannon. And after that, I'm going to bring all of these Cav back into the main fight, which will be very helpful for that. You can also see that there's just an absolute wall of reinforcements still rolling in. But, you know, we're doing alright. We're only outnumbered about 4 to 1. No big deal. At this point, the battle starts getting a little more clustery. Not breaking my units quite as much as I should. I should be breaking them apart and getting some of those flanks on. I still do it a little bit, but I was honestly starting to feel like at this point I wasn't going to win and wasn't trying as hard as I should have. But we do have some of these reinforcements coming in that are going to get a really nice flank over here. And I also just want to kill the giant because, yeah. I'm also sorry if you can hear my keyboard clicking. It's the dangers of mechanical keyboard. Hopefully it's not incredibly annoying. And even though I don't really zoom in very often, I'm going to zoom in and watch things happen. Like watch a giant die. Point, yeah, trying to do a little bit of cycle charging in and out with my Chaos Knights. I really should have been doing more of that. If you're not getting your charge bonus on your Chaos Knights, they're just, or your, I don't know why I was calling them Chaos Knights, your Grail Knights. So there we got rid of Kolek, and Sarthoriel is going to be soon behind. This is where I started to think, hey, maybe I have a chance again. Got some of the lords, well, wounded, and getting some of that beautiful leadership debuff. Grail Guardians slowly coming back to the fight. Yeah, further on, after all of these battles, when I started kind of rebuild my forces, I decided to go a little bit heavier on the Grail Guardians purely because they have higher armor and they just are a lot tankier and do better in prolonged combat than the Grail Knights. And I just found that I really wasn't able to effectively use that much shock cavalry. I'm sure some people can do it. I was not able to handle quite the amount of micro that was required to really make that work. Might try it more in the future, but this was also my first battle using that army comp. But if you want to try it, I'd advise a little bit harder Grail Guardian. It's also very possible that using questing knights would be better against chaos, due to the fact that they have the armor piercing damage. Would probably be better off fighting. They do have lower armor though, so it's a little bit of a trade-off. Like I said, I was kind of going for more of an entertaining type of build, and just being a bunch of snobby knights, which is why I went all top tier units. Killing more hell cannons. Yeah. You can see, I didn't really realize it in the battle, but afterwards when I'm looking through and seeing that really none of the hell cannons got very many kills on any of my units, it just wasn't worth using my Pegasus and Hippogriffs to go kill them. I think they would have been a lot more helpful in the main press of battle, especially against some of the halberds, which understandably do fairly well against the cavalry. And then in here, I'm being a little bit silly again. I've got like 5 units attacking Archaon. He is the last lord left for Chaos, so I want to kill him, but it was a waste of units because obviously guys back here can't actually get damage on him. Should have just had 2 or 3 units attacking and been doing other stuff with the rest of them. And then this is where I'm going to use Hippogriff Knights to kind of harass that Chaos Giant. I don't want him to get into here and start killing all of my cavalry again. So I'm just going to drop him down, hit the Giant for a little while, did a pretty good amount of damage, and then you're going to see I literally immediately pull them back. The only goal here is to distract it and stop it moving forward. And this is really what I should have been using my Hippogriffs and Pegasus for from the beginning, is those hit and run, drop down, and then leave. Chaos doesn't really have any ranged units, and the Marauder Horsemen just, they're not going to do anything. I've got enough armor on everything that that type of ranged cavalry isn't going to hurt them. So here you can see I'm just basically the same thing I've been doing, main group, and then breaking off a unit or 2 of cavalry to run around and either keep people routing or stop units from coming back into the fight. And yeah, reinforcements are finally slowing down, and at this point I'm kind of thinking I might actually be able to do this. It's also at this point that I seem to remember I spent half of my battle sitting here looking at the health of Archaon, and then looking at the health of the Fey Enchantress and hoping that he died first. Not the most effective thing you can do in the middle of a fight, but, you know, it worked. And yeah, that was probably not going to go well. One Grail Knight versus a full health Chaos Chariot. Down to the end here, let's... Oh, there we go. There went Archaon. So yeah, this is where I'm wishing that I would have saved a little bit more of my Winds of Magic, so that I could have gotten a little more healing ability. But at this point, I had absolutely none left, and I was just sitting there waiting for it to recharge, and every time it did, I would pop down the heal. Here, I'm not sure what I did. I sent the Pegasus and the Hippogriffs to attack the Hell Cannons, and then when they were almost there, I turned them around and brought them back, which was probably the right decision, but probably shouldn't have sent them over there to begin with, if we're being honest. But in the future, if you do, that's definitely what you want to be doing with your flying units, is harassing. We'll go over here and see, yeah. 11. They actually got a decent amount of kills, so I probably could have taken them out. Yeah, at this point, regardless of what the balance of power may say, I'm fairly confident in winning. They've got one unit of halberds left and hell cannons. Other than that, chaos knights that aren't going to last very long. Yeah, halberds are obviously problematic to fight. Really, all I tried to do was, you gotta hit them and just completely surround them and try to break them as quickly as possible. But you can see there, yeah, 20 kills is not good for me. Finish off the giant, and now all we've got left are chaos knights and a couple of units of hell cannons, so we're just gonna speed it up at this point while the battle finishes. Really nothing to see. And coming up on the end. Of course, hell cannons don't ever break, which doesn't get annoying at all when you've killed everything else and there's one unit of hell cannons all the way across the map. So, moving on the exact same term, yes, I am very inventive with my names. This is actually the same turn another kind of crowd new chaos army attacked. Two more, actually. So we'll just keep right on going. Gonna fast forward through the beginning of this one. Oh yeah, my Green Knight died in the last battle, in case you didn't notice. But he did come back. So I chill everybody in the middle and pop a couple of heals down just to get them back up to full health. And once again, probably a mistake, but I decided to run my flying units out to kill this hell cannon because nobody likes hell cannons. Not going to go over that more, but yeah, probably should stop doing that in the future. So back down, this battle really, all they had, you can see they had Chaos Marauders and some Warhounds. So I don't really break up my force a whole lot because they just can't fight individually very well. And I'm going to run everything around as a giant battering ram, and you can see within 10 seconds of hitting that before your charge bonus even wears off, I've already broken that unit. And I left these guys back here. I don't want them to die. honestly, there's not a whole lot of strategizing going on right now. I am running the Green Knight around trying to finish off the Chaos Lord, but we're going to speed it up, because why not? Just kind of sitting here, kill this army, then kill them. I'm going to send them over to kill the 2 Hell Cannons, which we're not even going to talk about that again. But doing the same thing, just honestly, for Chaos Marauders, you almost don't even have to cycle charge them because you can break them so quick with this giant ball of death. And yep, that was the end. But of course, look who's holding on. The Hell Cannons. And we will finally load the last one, which I got a turn in between, but I got attacked on that turn. Obviously did not get to heal any of my units. And this was kind of Chaos last gasp. None of them were actually full health army for the fun of having everything. Same strategy again. Sit back here, get my Green Knight and Enchantress up to full health, or close to it. And then gonna wait on this high point until they get that to get a little bit of the charge bonus down a hill. Look at them, all excited. Oh. Slow back down and get that gorgeous charge off. And we're gonna do the same thing. I also tried to use my Lord a little bit to slow down units. I didn't really want them all getting in at once. Really isn't much excitement that goes on in this battle. Yeah, I honestly would not recommend this army composition. It's a lot of fun, and, well, it would probably be good depending on the level. I believe, on very hard. I know it wasn't legendary. Yeah, it should have been very hard. So, if you were playing on a little bit lower, it would be a lot easier to break units quickly, and this comp would probably just be straight overpowered. But it's a lot of fun. Bretonnia in general has been a lot of fun for the way I play. I would advise more line infantry to kind of hold the line, and it'll make your microing a little bit easier. But if you do want to be, you know, leading a bunch of knights, there's probably not a better faction to do it as than Bretonnia. Although I would advise bringing along one unit of peasants, because somebody needs to, like, clean the latrines and do all of the grunt work around camp. Same thing again. This is actually where I didn't want them to be getting flanked, So I kind of used the Green Knight and the Enchantress to stop units from getting to the front. Probably should have just gone and killed the Chaos Lord. Would have been a little more helpful. Also, Green Knight is a badass. It's actually kind of interesting to watch this replay. I was completely unaware while playing that that Chaos Lord was such low health. If I would have known, I probably would have gone and killed him a lot earlier than I did. And right here, we're just gonna kind of mop everything up. And the route. I actually let this one go on a little bit longer. They had one unit of Chaos Warriors, and I was hoping for a little bit of breathing room, so I killed them all. After this one, Chaos actually retreated back into the Chaos Wastes, and I ended up hunting them down. It was kind of entertaining, actually. They never really recovered. But yeah, that was all three of the battles. You can see, had 70 units left at the end of everything. I believe I started out with almost 700. But won all of the battles and vanquished Chaos in 2 turns, basically. So, there's how you do it.